and I think everyone should be safe. I think Joey's got everything taken care of over there.
Yes.
Put me on the spot there.
Yes, I switched to another profile and.
Well, I was just talking about Route 105 and 44 and making sure everyone's safe when you go up today.
I switched to my personal Facebook page to record today's program, so I will make sure I post that onto Middleboro Review later on today. But anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Middleboro Review. Today is the 12th of January, 2025. There we go. I knew I was going to make that mistake sometime.
25 to keep you up,
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Get that out of the way.
Yep.
It's 25, and let's talk a little bit about our today in history, get that out of the way, and then our weather. So our today in history is as follows. January the 12th, again, it's not 1992, Joey. 1792, there we go, that's a little bit of a difference there. Federalist Thomas Pinckney appointed as the first U.S. Minister of Britain, Don.
Right.
Very important position, even today.
So the Americans picked someone from Britain, and they were subjects of Britain for so long. That's funny.
Yeah. 1932, Hattie Caraway becomes the first woman elected to the U.S. Senate. 1942, during World War II, the United States President Franklin Delano Roosevelt creates the National War Labor Board. And in 1986, during the space program, Congressman and future NASA administrator, and current NASA administrator until I think at least the end of Joe Biden's term, is Bill Nelson. He lifts off from Kennedy Space Center aboard Columbia on mission STS-61C as a payload specialist. So he becomes pretty important. I believe he also became a congressman or a senator out of Connecticut, I believe, as well, Bill Nelson.
Okay. Yeah.
Very important. Birthdays, 1588, John Winthrop, English lawyer, not American lawyer, English lawyer and politician. He was the second governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony. So he's very important there. Kind of difficult to succeed the first governor of Massachusetts.
Is it Miles Standish?
It was a big name. I believe it was, give me a second here,
Yeah, I think it was Miles Standish.
the first governor of Massachusetts, and I will get that up. 1 second here.
You should know that. Jim DuPont.
I should know.
DuPont
You know what?
would not be,
You know what? I should.
would
I should know
he
that.
would not be happy.
I'm pretty sure it was Miles Standish.
Yeah, I should know that.
You know,
I turned my
technology. Yeah, let me turn my phone on. Look.
You know, I should know that, and you know what? We'll give the answer later on today.
Because you can't get it?
Yeah, I can't get it right now. And I should know it because it's a pretty big name.
It's a big name, huh? Oh boy.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I gotta brush up on my history a little bit. Anyway,
Well, you
That's
know,
one thing I love is history.
moving on. 1905, Tex Ritter, American actor and singer, born on this day in 1905. Don,
Yes.
he was the father of who?
Who?
Tex Ritter. He was the father of who?
Oh, John Ritter, right?
Yes.
Yes.
1930, Tim Horton, a Canadian ice hockey player and businessman. He co-founded Tim Hortons, but he was also a pretty good hockey player as well.
John Winthrop was the first governor of the Massachusetts Bay County.
John Winthrop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
He named a town after him.
Yes.
Yes.
1944.
So it wasn't
Joe.
Miles Standish there.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was making a wild guess without my phone.
1944. Joe Frazier, American boxer. 1950. Sheila Jackson Lee, also American lawyer, judge, and politician.
Yeah, she's a representative, Texas congresswoman.
She passed away last year. 1951, Rush Limbaugh, American talk show host and author, passed away in 2021. 1954, Howard Stern, American radio show host, actor, and author, 1964, Jeff Bezos, American computer scientist and businessman, co-founder of Amazon. 1965, Rob Zombie, American singer-songwriter, producer, actor, and director. He did a lot of great things
He did the Halloween.
with the Halloween
Yeah, he did.
franchise. He did a lot of great things
But
with that.
nothing beats the original Halloween
No,
with
absolutely
Jamie Lee
not.
Curtis and Donald Pleasance.
But House of a Thousand Corpses was a really good movie.
Oh, did he do that?
Yeah, he did that one. It was really good.
Yeah.
And then the Devil's Disciples after that. It was like a continuation of the story. It was really good.
Horror guy, you know.
2000, now we're going to move on to passings here. 2000, Mark Davis, American animator and screenwriter. 2002, Cyrus Vance. He is an American lawyer and politician, the 57th U.S. Secretary of State. 2003, Maurice Gibb passed away. Singer-songwriter, guitarist, and producer. 2018, Keith Jackson, who was an American sports commentator and journalist. 1922, Ronnie Spector, American singer. And passing away 2 years ago today, Lisa Marie Presley. There's your birthdays, passings, and today histories. So, I'll switch it over to Dawn. What are we going to talk about today, Dawn? What do you want to talk about today?
Anything you want to talk about?
Well, okay, so Friday, if you're listening on Friday.
No, yeah. Actually, the Friday show was really good.
Yes. Yeah. If you were listening on Friday, we had about an hour of the 2-hour show. We talked about David Bowie and Peter Yarrow.
Yeah, but Peter Yarrow, Peter, Paul, and Mary. We all know that.
True.
You know, Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something we probably would listen to as children. You know, how many times, you know, it's probably still going on or was going on, but you know how many times I heard that as a child?
Oh yeah, it's all over the radio.
It was, you know.
When AM was the thing.
I think I had the Puff the Magic Dragon album when I was a kid. You know, it's funny how you know, a trio like that, a folk trio like that, touches, you know, childhood. You know, it's there's not many songs that do that. You know what I'm saying?
I was going through some of my old vinyls and stuff, you know, and I found a really old one, the Partridge Family
Yeah.
album.
Oh, it's awesome. I still love those songs.
Yeah.
I still love those. I love
That
those.
show was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I had the Partridge Family. I still have it.
Yeah,
It was my sister's, but she gave me her vinyl.
yeah. It's funny.
It's not in the best condition. I don't even think it'd be able to play, but I'm keeping it anyway.
I have a friend named Greg. He's a bass player, and he says, "I woke up in love this morning." That song there. He says, "You gotta hear the bass riff on that." You know what I mean? And it's good. It's a pretty heavy song. I mean, it's not heavy. It's Patrick Family, but the bass riff is. And he's like, "Yeah, he's right." So did Danny Bonaducci do the basses on that?
I have no idea if they played their own instruments. I don't think so.
No.
No, I think it was all session musicians.
Except-
kind of like the Monkees' first album, you know.
Yeah, except for like
They were singing because
Right.
that was him and what was the other girl?
Well, if anybody knows, please call Joe. The number.
Yes, 508-822-1106 is the number to call. So, if you know,
obviously David
go.
Cassidy still singing, and Shirley Jones. She just did backup. She never did any leads with that, right?
Yeah, just the harmonies.
And then Tracy on the tambourine.
Yeah,
And
and
then-
then the other girl, the
Lori,
the teenage girl with the last name Gray, I think.
she played the drums.
Did she?
Oh no,
No.
you're talking about Susan Day.
Yeah, Susan Day.
She
yeah.
played the keyboards, and then
Yeah, and but
Tracy-
she did the
and
harmonies.
Tracy
and
played the
stuff.
drums. So, and then you had Ruben McKay, which was great. You know what I mean? That's funny you say that because that was a great show. Now, which one did you like better, the Partridge Family or the Brady Bunch?
Oh, that's a tough one. I'm a music buff, so I guess it would be the Partridge
Yeah,
Family. But I watched them both.
The Brady's did some music. They did.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
But-
and
yeah,
Davy,
but that
Davy
was-
Jones was on, which was cool, and Joe Namath, and a lot of people that were. You know, you're growing up with that stuff. It's a lot of fun, you know.
yeah, so
That's what I want to talk about.
Oh,
Sounds
TV
good.
shows.
something that we're keeping an eye on here, and we might be getting some sort of information on sometime today, is the new head coach of the Patriots.
Who do you think it's going to be, Joey?
Looks like it's going to be Mike Vrabel. They are, according to reports, they are in contract conversations with Vrabel. So we'll see what happens there. Now there are all sorts of rumors swirling around this team now. Who's going to be offensive coordinator? Who's going to be this? Who's going to
Do
be
you
that?
think there's any room with the Patriots organization for Gerard Mayo?
I would like to see Gerard Mayo back.
I think to see him just get thrown out. I mean,
you know what? I would
yeah.
like to see him back in another spot. In another spot where he was before.
He tried. I mean, what are you going to do? He tried.
I think he was defensive coordinator before. I'd like to see him back
Did
in
they
that
win the
spot.
last game? They won the last game against
Yes.
the Bills, right?
Yeah, they won the last game. They won the first game of the season.
Yep.
You know, the Cincinnati
They
win
won last night.
didn't look that good at the end of the year.
You listen to the Pittsburgh game on WNBS in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the Ravens destroyed the Steelers.
Awesome.
Well, didn't destroy the Steelers, but the Steelers really weren't in any contention to win the game.
Yeah, I was talking to my buddy Billy. He was like, "I'm watching the Steelers. You got to root for the Steelers now." And I was like, "Yeah."
They didn't do that.
No,
Not exactly.
So
Yeah, I listened to the Steelers-Ravens game on WNBS yesterday, which is a station out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Yeah, they didn't do that.
That's the only way you could find the game.
Yeah,
It wasn't on.
No,
the-
exactly. The only reason I was able to listen to the game was because of those radio stations.
Right.
Because of WNBS.
Yeah, because of local radio stations.
Yes, exactly.
It's fun. It's funny like that because it seems like everything's streaming now, or you got to pay for everything. It seems like everything you want to watch, there's a fee to it. I mean, you have all
Yeah,
these different
that's
streaming
unfortunate.
services, and then I bet for most people, I mean, you got Disney, you got Paramount Plus, you got everything. If you have a favorite show that you like, they put it on, and then there's like 80 other shows you hate,
Right.
and now you're paying for that one show. You know,
Yeah.
what is that?
I kind of like the way that they bundled Disney Plus now because Disney's pretty much taking over the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
But I like the way that they bundled it together with all the Marvel. I just watched with my son. He's 17, and we watched all the Avengers in a row. Age of Ultron and all those.
It's really fun. It's really fun when you can binge watch something.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like we did a marathon of it for like a whole weekend and watched like 4 movies in a week.
I'm on the fence about getting
5, I think.
I'm on. Oh, what?
With Marvel,
What's this, yes, Joe?
So with Marvel, they lose me after Iron Man came out. They
Really?
lose me after Iron Man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I grew up on those comic books
Yeah.
and all those characters, so like I know the backstories. It's just like it's like you know them, But I finally it's the CGI of today, because when they used to attempt to put out superhero movies, they just come out looking cheesy.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays. What was I watching with my son was Indiana Jones, the original, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Well, we got one of those 4K TVs now. When I watched that in the movies, you thought they were in the desert. You thought that they were, but now with the 4K TV, you're like, oh, that is such a soundstage. It didn't even look real behind them, you know?
Sometimes, that was the time to watch it in the movies. Now sometimes technology can ruin things for you because it ruins that effect for you for the movie.
Yeah. It's too crisp.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
It's like it looks cheesy almost.
I wouldn't want to have it because I want to have the memories of that movie the way I was presented to me when I watched it on the screen, the big screen. And my father took me to see that movie.
Yeah.
My father and I we went to the movies a lot. That was our stick. My brother and my sister not as much. So my father took me to see Battlestar Galactica in 1979. He didn't want to sit there and watch it. And the last movie my father saw before he passed was Star Trek in Darkness. He couldn't sit through the whole thing, but we used to watch about 3/4 of it. And he's like, I can't sit here. I was like, fine, let's leave. But it was like memories like that and stuff. So
Yeah.
I
think,
but I don't. As far as the streaming thing, I'm on the fence about getting Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch that show Landman with Billy Bob Thornton. After I watched I guess when they had the last Yellowstone, they played that, or whatever, or the second to last, and they played the first 2-hour movie, and I fell in love with the character, I fell in love with everything. But now I gotta pay. I don't know if I want to pay. I look at little clips on my phone, and it's only getting me more anxious to buy it because it's really good. Because I love Billy Bob Thornton. I love him. I loved him in Armageddon. I loved him in a lot of his stuff. Bad Santa, all that stuff. I just love that guy.
Sling Blade was just.
That was like one of his first movies, wasn't it?
It was just wow. That movie was really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine doing. You know.
We were just talking about John Ritter. Yeah, he was in that.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? Yeah. That's right.
I think someone that doesn't get talked about in the Marvel universe enough, and should get talked about a little bit, is Nicolas Cage and what he did with Ghost Rider.
Yeah, I have to admit I haven't seen that yet.
It's really good.
Really?
That's a Marvel, huh?
It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah. Ghost
That's
Rider.
earlier though, right? That's before all the Iron Man started
I
coming
think
out,
it
right?
was
He
just a
about to
couple
say
years
at the same
before.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is right around the
Wow.
same time, maybe a couple years before Ghost Rider came out. Iron Man came out. Yeah, the first couple of
That
Iron Man movies
original
were
Iron
good.
Man was great.
The first couple of Iron Man movies were good.
Do you ever see a movie called Nobody's Fool with Paul Newman, Jessica Tandy,
No.
Melanie Griffin, Bruce Willis?
Wow.
It is the most beautiful movie I've ever seen in my life. It is. It's set in like an old industrial town in upstate New York. Bath, New York is where they. And it's about this guy named Donald Sullivan, and he's played by Paul Newman. And he lives in a rooming house with Jessica Tandy. And he's like, he really didn't make it in life, you know, but he's the town philosopher. He's just, everyone goes to Sully. Yeah, it's just, talk about a close-knit community and how everybody, it's funny because there's a scene and I don't know, he had to go to jail for something because I don't know, he punched a cop in the face, Raymond or whatever, and they stuck him in jail. And he said, "I love small towns because who let you out to do a pallbearer for, you know what I mean? It's just nobody's full. I think it was Jessica Tandy's last movie, and she's awesome in it. She talk about a heartfelt movie, and it's funny. It's witty. It's really good.
Speaking of last movies, Paul Newman's last movie was Cars, and just amazing.
Yeah, his
voice acting.
Yeah.
Voice acting.
That was his last movie?
That was his last film.
Really?
Yep, last film. Yeah.
Which character did he play?
He played Doc Hudson.
Oh, okay.
He played Doc Hudson.
Yeah, okay, I remember.
He was in a couple of documentaries after Cars, but his last theatrical release was Cars.
And I wonder what his last real movie with him acting was in there. Was that 08 or something? All right, back to the phone, huh? Yeah, you should know this.
No, I can look it up. Yep.
You know, years ago you had to be an encyclopedia. You didn't have the phones. You didn't have.
I know.
You could have dialed on a
I
friend.
know. I mean, we used to like test each other. Okay, what year did this album come out? You know,
Oh, we used to do that
Yeah.
everything. Me and my buddy
Yeah.
Scott Mullin used to do that with history. We used to always do that with history. We used to always. It's funny because we always used to try to outwit each other as far as history. And with all my friends, I've always been like that. So you always try to keep your mind sharp.
2002's Road to Perdition.
Oh, that was a great movie. That's the one I was just trying to think of, where he plays an aging gangster. Yeah, and who's the Forrest Gump guy?
Tom Hanks is in it.
Yeah, Tom Hanks is a hitman that tries to get out, and they won't let him.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah, he was like a gang enforcer, and he tries to get out with his son.
I think Nobody's Fool came out in '94 or '95.
But that was a great movie.
Yeah.
All right, let's take our first. Let's take our news break.
And commercial
7:30, and well, and commercial break as well. So
All
let's
our
do that.
breaks.
Yeah, let's do that right now, and we'll be right back here on the Middleboro Review on WBF 1530 AM and 9.7 FM. We'll be right back.
How long we got?
6 minutes.
6 minutes. That'll be fresh to run.
You know what?
No. That's an old hip-hop song.
I'm Michael Harris.
6 minutes. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. That'll be fresh to run.
Good morning, everyone on the Facebook this morning. So this isn't my normal Facebook setup. I usually do it on the Facebook on Middleboro in review, but it wasn't working today on my laptop, so I did it. I came here and did this
You
on
listen to
the other show.
Carter
The other,
eulogy?
my personal.
Yeah.
Was it?
Oh, this guy's not cracking jokes up tonight.
He was my favorite. He was one of my favorite presidents.
Was he?
And it was my president when I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I liked him because they used to call him a wimp because, he'd try to talk peace instead of sending missiles.
Right. Yeah.
And I just always resonated with him, And then after when he was former president and doing that, every year he'd help build houses and stuff.
Yeah.
They'd show him with a tool
He was
belt
building
on it.
houses up to a few
And
years
like
ago.
80, 85 years old, and he's,
I
hammering
see,
nails.
they show a picture of him, right? And he's hammering nails. And it had to be about 2 or 3 years ago. I mean, his face is all black, and he's just, just from whatever. I think he had cancer at the time. And he's out there building a house. And it'd be, I was wondering, it's not was too long ago. It was a couple years ago.
He was pretty passionate about
Guy's
it.
98 years old. He's out there building houses. And the hot Georgia sun. We complain that it's hot, and I mean, they just go out there, they're just unbelievable. At that age,
Yep. Hey, dude, my stepfather is going to be 95 this year.
really?
And he still drives. He just got a knee replacement. He goes to the gym and has a personal trainer. Then he goes to the Y down in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah. Still drives. My mom's, he's sharp as a tack. My
Living
mom's
in-
the one that's getting a little,
Yep.
forgetful and stuff,
Yeah. But living in Florida helps. It prolongs your life, not being in weather like this. I mean, well, icy, you fall, you're done.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just,
I was terrified yesterday. I went shopping, and it was a little icy. You know how my hill is. I was going down that hill, steps.
What, down
With
your,
my groceries.
oh,
I had arms full of groceries. I'm like,
yeah, you couldn't drive down the hill.
and,
That's an anomaly. Your driveway is. I don't think.
some of those driveways in my neighborhood.
They're not as
the
bad.
street.
They're not as bad as yours, are they?
No, there's one that's like this.
I don't.
And it's down. We go down,
Yeah.
to the house. And this one, you go up to the house. So instead of sliding down the hill, trying to get up the hill, you slide backwards down. Oh my God! I saw
The
this-
problem is
saw this guy wipe out.
The problem for you, if you slide down, you're in the woods.
Yeah, I'm in my backyard.
You're in the woods. You go down and then you're down another cliff.
Oh, I hit a tree.
Oh, you hit a tree?
Yeah, I hit a tree before it made it to the
To
backyard.
the wall. Nice. I don't know what they'll think when they built that neighborhood. I'm surprised they even was able to sign off on it.
That's what the paper said. When we put that thing on the top, he's like, I don't even know how they signed off on this, man. He's like, they never sign off on this nowadays. It's
No.
too dangerous.
Yeah. They wouldn't put a drive. They'd build a driveway up on the circle, and there'd be a set of stairs, and that's how you get in the
Yeah, or
house.
something like that.
You know?
We have that two car
I wanna-
parking pad on top, and that's what we want to do is put some cement steps. Have somebody come in and build some steps, so that way we can get out the steps instead of trying to get out.
You know?
Yeah, that's killer. It's okay when there's nothing on the ground like ice. All I was thinking was, man, I'm not gonna fall. Just that very gun, my surgery.
Watch the F1s.
Huh?
Watch the F1s.
Well, I won't-
Yeah,
I know we're not on the air.
Yeah, that's there.
We're on Facebook now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Facebook.
Yeah, stuff filters in.
Sam and Dave no longer on the earth.
Yep.
Now they're
Both of them?
both of them. Yeah. Now they're singing.
Sam.
Now they're singing in the concert of heaven.
Who's Sam and Dave?
Seven days of
Soul Man.
Oh, really?
yeah.
They had
They're
another
really
really good song too. I can't remember.
Were they one passed away today, or they both passed away?
Yesterday.
What the surviving one passed away,
Yeah, yesterday.
and then
Who, Dan? Or?
no Sam and
Sam.
then Dave.
He was.
He passed away in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, wild.
What do you want to talk about, Joey?
I gotta talk about the Communities Act, the MBTA Communities Act. 'Cause I didn't get to it Friday,
Yeah.
and it's important because there was this Supreme Court.
Well, let's do a nice, robust transportation topic
Yeah.
on everything. Like,
Yeah,
I'm sure Dave has something he can run in as far as transportation. Transportation.
Sure. 3, 2, 1, and
TV show. You mean.
here we go. 3, 2, 1, and 0. And we're back. I turned down the bumper music.
Bumper.
The bumper music. There we go.
Bumper.
Go through the weather real quick because I didn't do it in the last segment. 24 degrees in Middleboro. 38 for the high today. It snowed last night.
Sure did.
It did. It came out of nowhere. I can't believe it. It came out of nowhere.
Maybe some of it will melt today. We'll see if the sun comes out and helps with that. But clear skies today, 38 degrees, 43 tomorrow, and no rain. No rain really this week, which is a good thing, but it's still going to be kind of cold. It will warm up next weekend a little bit as well. So
Yeah,
there you go.
38. This is all going to be gone.
Here we go. Taunton, 22 degrees, a high of 37, clear skies today. Driscoll, North Dakota, it is. Don, you want to take a guess at what the temperature is in Driscoll, North Dakota?
-4.
-1 today.
Okay.
Yeah. A grand total of a high of 2. -7 for the high tonight. -1 for the high tomorrow, with a -13 for the low tomorrow night. Very cold. And we're going to get a heat wave in Driscoll, North Dakota on Wednesday. 36 degrees with a low of 27. So
That ain't bad for
you
just,
go.
yeah.
it's almost a heat wave over there.
You wonder how, living in those temperatures, I mean, people go to work, they back and forth. It's unbelievable. I mean, we don't have,
Yeah.
temperatures like this
No.
all the time, but it seems like from December, January, February, the temperatures are off the charts.
Here's a little bit of a surprise. Driscoll, Texas. You want to take a guess at what the temperature is right now?
78?
45.
Okay.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
cold.
I talked to my sister. She lives in Holiday, Florida. She said it was like 40s a couple days ago.
Really?
Yeah, I talked to friends in Florida. It's real chilly down there now.
65 for the high today. 60 for the low for the high tomorrow with a low of 45. And then it's going to be in the 50s for a couple of days with some rain. So it's going to be kind of cold in Driscoll, Texas over the next couple of days. So that is your weather
For the Driscolls.
for the Driscolls and Taunton and Middleboro. So we got that. All right, now our transportation topic, something I kind of didn't get to on Friday. I think I talked briefly about transportation, but I didn't get to the meat and bones of what I wanted.
Meat and
to
potatoes.
The meat and potatoes, or meat and bones,
The
or,
bones,
or
the tuna fish sandwiches.
yes, exactly. The ham steak and the mashed potato of what I wanted to talk about here.
Beans,
Anyway,
cauliflower, and
the state court upholds the MBTA zoning law in a decision this week. The Supreme Judicial Court on Wednesday upheld a controversial state law that mandates multifamily housing zones for cities and towns serviced by the MBTA, including those that will soon get commuter rail service via South Coast Rail. The SJC ruled that the 2021 MBTA Communities Law is constitutional and that Attorney General Andrea Campbell has the authority to enforce it. But it also ruled that the guidelines by which the law can be enforced were improperly created, sending enforcement back to the drawing board. So it's been approved, but They got to write it up again.
Make it better.
Make it better.
Make it. Well, I agree with that. I mean, the Supreme Court ruled. That's how it is. That's how it works in this country. So we can lose and move on if you didn't like it because they ruled. It's the law. But yeah, I mean, make it better is right. There's got to be a way that, in my opinion, this could work for everybody. Where you're not really going against the grain. It does sound like a good idea. I mean, people need housing, but I mean, they just got to. I think they just need to revamp the. They just got to revamp the routes, in my opinion. I mean, we got the infrastructure, but it seems like a lot of the MBTA routes, especially the bus routes, are really redundant. I mean, I live in Quincy. I grew up in Quincy, and some of ththose bus routes haven't changed in 45 years.
Right.
Yeah, nothing on the highway. There isn't an express bus that I know of goes down to Rockland, any of the park and rides, because you have P&B, whatnot. But you really don't have any bus service in the town of Abington or Rockland that I know of. It's just you want people to take T, but they don't service it in some areas. It's like around here, we have Gatra, okay, but it's sort of like a transportation desert in some areas. So
I live in Central Mass. I moved from
You got-
Quincy. I grew up in Quincy, but I live in Central Mass, and they have the Worcester Regional
Yep.
Transportation.
does this reach your town in Northbridge?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They go to the supermarkets. It's good for the older people that don't drive and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You see them always,
They have enough of them out there, but they don't really connect them.
and they made it free.
Right, but they really don't make them connected friendly in a way.
Right. There's only one route.
That's what I'm
And
saying. And it's like, for instance, you have the Greenbush line, okay, which runs through Situate, and it ends at Greenbush, which is north Situate, right on the Marshfield line. And then Gotcha has a bus called the Seal they call it, Seal North, Seal South. That bus originates in Pembroke over at the supermarkets. It's another 3 miles, another 2 miles to run that bus to the MBTA commuter rail. So people getting off the commuter rail, there's no bus service to take you into Marshfield. But there's a bus service 2 miles away.
And they
Which
can just extend it and pick people up there.
why wouldn't they extend it?
Yeah.
You know?
To a T station.
Yeah, from Greenbush to Kingston.
Right.
And they do go to Kingston, but they only do 2 trains, like 2 rush hour trains.
And
Why?
They
Yeah.
probably make it up in less than a year because of extra toll, fares.
Well, if I lived in Marshfield, it was a bus from Marshfield Center that ran down Route 3A, pretty much, okay? And there was a little park and ride. I can go and get the bus and get connected to the commuter rail, either direction. I think more people would take it. But they have all these bus routes, and a lot of these bus routes aren't connected. They're not lined up. Take another example. Wachusett Station is on the Fitchburg line. They put that in I think 2012. It connects, goes a little further past Fitchburg, okay? And there's a bus service that takes you to Gardner. And there's only one bus, okay? And I was looking up the schedule, and the bus kind of leaves before the train gets there. It's just, when I was looking at the schedule, and I called the people, and I was like, how does this make sense? Oh, you have to get the bus in Fitchburg at the bus stop. I said, well, but you have a little bus pickup here. Why wouldn't you incentivize people to go all the way to the end and take a bus and go to Gardner and then Apple and then Orange, and then there's another bus that takes you to Greenfield. Okay, so all these connect, but they're just so spotty on the scheduling that it'll take you half the day. You want a service? I mean, there's no rail service, fine, but you should have a robust bus service. That Athol's the town,
It's not going
Orange
to
is
take
the
you
town.
6 hours to get where you're going. Yeah.
I've been trying to figure out how to do it. I wanted to do it as a goof. I leave at 4:30 in the morning to get to Greenfield by 11:30, and that's if I make all these bus connections. I can't be 3 minutes late on any of them, or I miss it. And
Well, they ain't waiting.
oh, the experiment was to take a train from North Station out to Wachusett, and then grab a bus and go to Gardner, then the Athol, and then Orange, and then Greenfield, and then try to make the what's the name of that train that's in Greenfield?
What's that?
The Valley Flyer.
Valley Flyer.
Make the
Is that
Valley.
the Fitchburg line?
Yeah,
The commuter rail?
yeah. It goes up. It goes out to Wachusett, but you have Gardner, which the community used to run to. That's another 9 miles west of Fitchburg, where that station.
Yeah, I've been up that way.
Okay,
Mohawk Trail.
and you got Athol, which is a good sized town. They have manufacturing. They got a big tool company. I think it's called Stewart Tools. And then you have Orange, and then you have Greenfield, and that whole area. And that whole area is just it's you have bus service, but it's like a hodgepodge of different routes, and it just doesn't. It's nothing's coordinated. People would take public transportation if it was coordinated.
Right.
Meaning, if I could walk out and grab a bus that would take me like straight to the commuter rail station, Middleboro, 44, right to it. You know, if I lived in downtown Taunton, I'd consider taking the train. Now we have the South Coast Rail coming, but I even asked somebody about what's Gotch were doing for as far as running buses to the new Taunton station. They didn't have a year ago. They didn't even have a plan. So I hope they get a plan. But I mean, they jump up and down, take public transportation. I'm for it. I love it. I'd rather take it. I don't want to sit in traffic. Right to the rail to Boston, whatever. And they got to figure out how to connect the have shuttles between these cities south down here. Meaning, not every like how you going to get a everything's going to go back and forth one direction, but have like little shuttle trains that intertwine with the cities that are down here: New Bedford, Fall River, Brockton,
Right.
and Taunton. The five towns out of the economies are down here, so they kind of have to integrate it. So and have enough bus service from the stations, because technically most of these stations are a park and ride. The one in Taunton, right off 24, park and ride. So you can't, in a way, you are taking, you really still taking for the cars. You're not really thinking about the center, because Taunton doesn't have any downtown service. They plan on having it. The train tracks are right down straight.
Mm.
So, but maybe have a connector. And I even said that for like some bus lines, have a bus red line connector. So some for Braintree, we all grew up in Quincy, Braintree. We know what Braintree. Have a bus that's called the red line connector, and run it to Holbrook, and have these little bus things, a red stripe, meaning that's the red line connector. That's gonna take you to the red line, or it's gonna take you, see, people identify with colors. That's why the map system on the MBTA is so successful. That's why it's so easy to navigate. People, they love the colors. They love the liveries. They love the colors. And I just think just setting up a route, like a red line, south bus route, all right? Having like little areas with a red line thing, if you go and having signs saying, Braintree, red line, that's going to take you to the rail. Okay, people get confused looking at bus schedules. They take three different buses just to get to a train station. You just need to make it better. They have the infrastructure. They just need to sit down and figure out how the everything's going to work. What say you? What do you think?
Right. No, I agree. And they could take, there's models of all sorts of different, transportation. Like a friend of mine, he married a Japanese woman, so he's been to Japan a bunch of times, Tokyo, different places, and he said the trains there, everybody takes the trains, and they're so accessible and they're fast.
Right, and then again, they're slow. Part of the commuter rails are slow. They run slow. They run 50 miles an hour.
Right.
People, says I can drive, and I can take my vehicle. These things need to fly, and a lot of towns dictate the trains, like in Holbrook, for instance, on the commuter rail, okay, on the middleboro commuter rail. If you're heading south, there's a speed restriction where it goes down to 10 miles, 15 miles an hour, because it's a safety thing, and I understand it's a safety thing, but They got to crawl up to that crossing on Union Street on 139 at Randolph Holbrook. So it's like, okay, now we're down to 15 miles an hour because of it's a safety thing. All right, maybe they don't want the trains blowing by the station and going out to, but I don't know. Maybe make an underpass. Take a look at Weymouth Landing. They impressed it at Weymouth Landing in East Braintree. They depressed it. They used to be grade crossing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, it's slow there because they got the station, but I don't know if it was depressed. They could just go right into the station at normal speeds, And it's funny because the northbound they don't have that restriction. It's only the southbound. So I don't know.
Let's take our last commercial break, and we'll be right back here on Middleboro Review on WV 1538 AM.
The what?
We start over. Middleboro Review WVBF 1530 AM 99.7 FM. We'll be right back.
You guys are on FM too?
Yeah, they got small signal.
It's just fun.
Yeah, it's actually just one part of time. You go up 44 towards the Dayton line. There's another 99.1, 99.7, right? There's another in Rhode Island that overpowers it even if it's done. So they did it for the football games.
They do it for the football games.
Yeah.
I was searching for a radio station and I found one out of Providence. That's awesome.
Well, it took Steve a long time to even get the and the thing is, if you want to up it, you want to up the signal, you can. But he's got it. You know what I mean? He has it. So I mean, now he's just dealing with the FCC and how, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
How strong you can make the signal.
Well, if there's one in Providence, you can't make it strong because you can't outdo them. Because you're jumping off each other. You know what I mean? The AM signal goes, I don't know, 10 square miles each direction, you think?
And signals, well,
Fall River.
at its strength, at its powerful strength, I can hear it. Wait a minute.
Yeah. A little crackly though, but
That's a little crackly, but it's still clear.
yeah.
All right, here we go. 3,
All right, what are you going to talk about, Joey?
2, 1.
Oh, we talk about more transportation. You
No,
don't like transportation, do you? He's got a big lump on his face. Look at him.
3, 2, 1, and 0. And we are back here on Middleboro Review WVBF 1530 AM 99.7 FM. Quick congratulations to the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans who will go on to the next round. We've got 3 more games going on today in the NFL. And let me get those up right now. Those games are as follows. They are the 1 o'clock game, the Bills versus the Broncos. Good luck, Denver. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I'm rooting for the Bills.
Yep. Good luck, Denver.
Who are you rooting for? No, do you even care?
I don't.
I put him to sleep with that transportation. He's got a big lump face on.
The-
I think you wanted to talk about Scooby-Doo a
I
little
think
bit.
No.
The interesting
I'm good
game.
with that.
The interesting game of the day is the Packers versus
Who you rooting for?
in the Broncos Bills game.
No, who you rooting for to win the Super Bowl?
Not Denver. Detroit.
No. Oh, Detroit?
Detroit.
No.
Yeah. No, Detroit.
Well, I know Bill, our friend Bill, he said he's a big Steelers fan and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was on-
He used to live in He used to live outside of Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah.
Harrisburg? Is that
No, he lives in a town right outside Uniontown, right outside.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, near there. Yeah.
But it's just some of these teams, that people are just diehard fans. Like I got a friend who's a Raiders fan,
Right.
and I mean they haven't done much in years,
Yeah, but
But he's diehard.
about the whole area. That's all. I mean, the football is huge out that way, Midwest. Ohio.
But he's
won,
from
right?
Boston.
Ohio one, right?
Yeah, the Super Bowl you should check out. Super Bowl 19, Dan Marino and Joe Montana. Both of those quarterbacks from the state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. No. And Ohio State won right against Texas on Thursday night.
Yes. The
Oh, yeah?
the college football
Well, you
player.
don't talk college on this show, He's like, yeah.
Ohio State versus Notre Dame in the championship next Monday.
I think Vice President-elect J.D. Vance and Senator Cruz, they had they went down there.
Trump might end up being at that game, depending on how long the inauguration is, and then how long it takes him to get to said game.
Yeah,
he could be at the game.
Yeah, I heard J.D. Vance is like gonna go to the game after.
Really?
I don't know. There was talk about it. Whatever.
I think he will.
I don't think he's going to one and on ball.
He's from Ohio State.
Oh, he's from Ohio State.
Yeah,
that's bigger than being lucky.
He might be
president.
there.
Yeah,
he might be there.
It tells you how much football flows through the veins of people in this country.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You have a disaster going on in L.A. All the disasters are going on. Even in New Orleans, terrorist attack, they still play football.
Yep.
They still play football. I mean, it's just
So,
you got to get up and play.
We have Packers, Eagles. That's gonna be a good game. That's at 4:30 today. 8:00 tonight. The nightcap of the night is the Commanders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Washington Commanders versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's gonna be a good one. And then tomorrow in Arizona, the LA Rams will take on the Minnesota Vikings. This game was moved from LA to Arizona
For obvious reasons.
for obvious reasons. So that's at 8:00.
That's what I'm saying. That they're having massive fires and their football team is still playing.
Right.
I mean, it's important to keep things going. I mean, tragedy is tragedy, and it's heartbreaking. And my heart goes out to everybody in the LA area who's going through this. I actually have a friend or a friend that I know who lives there, and found out midweek that her community was gone. So I mean, it is heartbreaking, and just got to get it taken care of. And we're all Americans. There's not a D or an R behind us. It's all big A.
Yeah.
Not a D, not an R. It's A. So
American.
You got to think A, man. We're A.
Here's something nice here to end a little sports story to end the show today. The 2025 Giant Teddy Bear Toss took place. This is something that the Hershey Bears of the AHL do. This benefited a ton of different charities and places like Penn State Health, Children's Hospital. The remarkable display of generosity unfolded on the January 5th Hershey Bears game, where fans showered the ice with a huge number of teddy bears and other stuffed animals. These donations are going to soon translate into generous donations for Penn State Health Children's Hospital, and among many other charitable places as well.
I wonder how long it took them to collect all the teddy bears on the ice.
I
A
know.
long time, because there were a lot.
Was that before the game or after the game?
It was during the game. The 23rd annual Giant
He's so funny.
Teddy Bear Toss. This is a tradition that supports local charities and children's organizations. For the past 10 years, the Swigart Family Foundation in Lancaster County has supported the Giant Teddy Bear Toss by donating $1 to Children's Miracle Network at Penn State Health Children's Hospital for every bear thrown onto the ice. This year, the foundation pledged that if fans threw at least 50,000 plush items, that they would donate at least $55,000.
So, buck a bear.
Yeah, so
That's a lot of teddy bears, man.
so
That's a lot.
I want to take a guess how many
they do it after the.
Do they use the Zamboni?
so you want to take a guess how many teddy bears were thrown on the ice?
100,000.
102,343. That is a record.
They do that once a year.
Once a year.
Nice.
Yeah, once a year. That's a record.
That's awesome.
102,343. That's a record.
And what all the teddy bears go to?
being thrown onto
What
the ice.
happens to all the teddy bears?
So, they get donated. They get donated to different charities.
Oh wow.
The Swigart Family Foundation donated $69,377, bringing their total donations to $400,000 since 2015.
Ah, that's all. That's what a great story to end the show. That's great. I mean, there's a lot of teddy bear cleanup. Teddy bear cleanup in aisle 5. You
Yeah,
know,
and there was more than 100 volunteers that counted.
they all got to be teddy bears.
Yeah, they collected, they counted, and sorted the stuffed toys, which will be donated to more than 30 local organizations. Since the first event, which took place in 2001, there we go. In 2001, the Giant Teddy Bear Toss has collected 566,450 stuffed animals for local charities.
That's great.
So that's a nice little story.
That is an awesome story. I mean, does it have to be teddy bears? Or just any stuffed animal? I mean, a teddy bear goes a long way. A teddy bear is like more significant than any
Yeah,
other
I
stuffed
think
animal.
it's teddy bears. I'm
Well,
not
you
sure.
agree?
I'm sure there's.
Sure.
If it comes to
It's
stuffed
more-
animals,
more
Teddy bears would be the top, yeah.
yeah. So what happens? You
Top
get,
tier.
yeah. What if you find like an Elmo there? What happens then?
Who threw an elbow?
Yeah. Who threw an Elmo in there?
Yeah, does that get counted? Does that get counted? I think it does. Anyway, I think it would get counted.
Well, you
even
get
if
like
it wasn't a teddy bear.
you get 1.5 points, and Elmo's got just the 1, right?
Well, what is it with like hockey games and people throwing stuff on the ice? I remember years ago they had like for some reason it was a guy that was a player and they called him the Squid. And so when he came to Boston, they brought pounds and pounds of calamari and threw them onto the ice, which subsequently froze into the ice. And it took them almost a half an hour to clear off all the squid.
All right, with that, I want to thank Dave for coming in today. I want to thank Don once again. And
Yeah,
we'll
thank
be
you, Dave,
back.
for coming in, driving through the, coming from the Great White North of Northbridge, Massachusetts,
We'll be back next
west
week.
of 495.
We'll be
Yeah,
back.
whenever they say, "Oh yeah, the heavy snow is going to be west of 495," that's me.
So we're back next week with another edition of Middleboro Review. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with another edition of Middleboro Matters. So stay tuned. Bye bye, everybody.
All right, we're gonna hit the road now.
I didn't think of this.
Yep. Get your hat.
No,
Get your hat. What's that hat say?
Overlook. That place I used to work.
Oh, really? They throw that on the ice?
I'll bet Mark will remember that. Because I think I was watching the game with him when they started throwing the squid on the ice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right.
Joe, you see for,
Thank you.
I think I got the wallet.
Bye, everybody.